Good sport lovers, welcome to Digital Sport. I'm your host. As always, it's Austin is my name, and it's time. It's time for weekend preview. That particular time where we have to look at the matches, the fixtures for the weekend, and give it our thoughts.
Newcastle United versus Manchester City. Wow. Early kickoff. It's going to be a tough one, a really tough one. I think either Man City lost last season at St. James's Park. So I think it's going to be a tough one this year.
It is going to be an interesting game, but I expect Manchester City to come out with a win in that game because in their last 5 fixtures, Manchester City have won 4, Newcastle won. I think the injury to Rodri is not going to be an issue for them in the Premier League, but I expect it to be a big, major issue in the Champions League. Without Rodri, they have won Chelsea, they have won their first 4 fixtures, they won without Rodri starting in the game. So I expect them to win.
It was true that Man City did not have the kind of chances that we know them to have been able to create in the past years and their past games against Arsenal. But it was because Arsenal came up with a game plan that was not expected. I don't think Manchester City planned for that kind of game. They didn't plan for it. They were not anticipating that Arsenal would play so conservative like that. And even with that kind of difficult kind of game that they were not expecting, they still came out with a 2-2 draw. And Newcastle has not been the Newcastle that we know of last season. So I feel Manchester City have an edge ahead. They still have an edge.
Yes, Newcastle United versus Manchester City, an early kickoff for Saturday fixtures. And I definitely know that Manchester City has been, although they were held back by Arsenal, and they fought for a draw in that particular encounter, which I think they were not expecting to go down in the first half, 2-1 in that first half. So, but it was still, you could see the drive and the pursuit of a champion for them to get that late goal. Sometimes you just need those locks to keep fighting for the league. It's a marathon chase. But for Newcastle United, though they hosting Manchester City, the champions, Newcastle United this season hasn't been that consistent. Do you agree with me that they haven't been that consistent? There are times that we see them being very compact in the play, and sometimes they are so loose in the game. And we know that although in recent fixtures, Newcastle always tend to give Manchester City some tough time and some problem in the pitch. But SC, where it is now, I think the league is very, very sweet this period. Seeing Arsenal, seeing Aston Villa, seeing Liverpool, seeing Manchester City being in their top form. So in this particular encounter, Manchester City won't want to drop a point in this particular fixture. I think you're going to be going all that. But another point you're going to take to consideration is that they just lost Rodri. And Rodri has been one of the pivotal players, instrumental player towards Pep's side winning the 4 consecutive Premier League titles, and now him not being in the squad throughout the season going to be a big blow. It's already a big blow to Pep's side, to Manchester City. But irrespective of that, I feel Pep's going to get something to edge over Newcastle. Don't play in a way.
My prediction for that game is Manchester City 3-1.
I think Newcastle will come up with a point. So I see Newcastle and Manchester City playing to a 1-1 draw.
I'm seeing them winning Newcastle with a scoreline of 3-1.
I'm looking at a 2-0 win for Manchester City.